Hello student, in last class we have studied about some question in which local maxima and local minima we have evaluated. Now in order to same evaluation of a maxima minima value, we are going to attend some more question today. So let's discuss question number 4 first, in which you have to prove that the given functions do not have a maxima or minima. So you have to give reason behind that why it is not possible to evaluate maxima and minima for given functions. So let's start with each case for discussion. Here first one, fx is available as e power x exponent form. Now for evaluation of maxima minima, first normally we are going to find out value for x, and on basis of that maxima and minima can be decided. Now here first we will go for writing first derivative. So differentiate with respect to x. F dash x will give you e power x. Now here the next step is to find out the value for x, which will give you solution for maxima and minima evaluation. So here you can see e power x being an exponent form, it is not possible to find out it's a zero solution. E power x never tends to 0. Even the value of x is 0, we put e power 0 will give you solution as a 1. So for this purpose or for this type of function, it is not possible to have it can't be 0 for any value of x. So here you can say that there doesn't exist any value of x for which your function can be or derived function can tends to 0. So here not possible to evaluate value for x such that your f dash x tends to 0. Therefore, there does not exist any maxima or minima solution for given function. Reason is with you that here not possible to define any x value for which your f dash x tends to 0. Now in the same order we are going to attend the second part. These three are the distinct or different type of function in which you can discuss about your solution form. So many other combination also with the same category can be defined. Now here second part is available as gx is equal to log of x. Here log is containing base as a e, so direct differentiation is possible. So your basic method will remain same. Proceed for first derivation. So differentiate with respect to x. G dash x will give you solution as 1 upon x. Here also it is not possible to find out x solution for which it can be tends to 0. If you are going to make it 0, x is not possible to find it out. So it can't be a 0 quantity. So again here x evaluation is not possible to find out 0 solution for your first derivative. That's why here also maxima and minima will not be exist there. So here also you will write the same comment that there doesn't exist any value for x which give you g dash x as a 0. Therefore function gx doesn't have maxima or minima solution. So this is the another reason you can write regarding the solution form. Now the last part, that is again a distinct one. Third part of the same question. In third part, your function is defined in algebraic form as x cube plus x square plus x plus 1. Here first we proceed about your differentiation. So differentiate with respect to x. So this will be h dash x 3x square plus 2x plus 1. Now here we have to find out the zero solution for x value. So put h dash x is a 0. So solution we are going to find it out here. Here you can see, if you look at this quadratic equation, it is not possible to make it factorize directly by splitting the middle term, because 3 is required and here 2 is available. So in that case, what we normally do, find out the discriminant over here, means delta, and based on that try to find out its solution. So here this will be the b square minus 4ac. Everybody is knowing what is the meaning of b and c. So b means what? 2 minus 4, a means 3 and c is 1. This is 4 minus 12 means minus 8. So here you can see your delta is coming with the negative quantity, and when your delta is coming with the negative quantity, normally the roots are coming as a imaginary form, so that we define in terms of x. So let's try to write its x solution. So here solution means x minus b plus minus under root delta upon 2a. So let's define as per your quadratic equation. X is equal to minus b means minus 2 plus minus under root of minus 8 upon 2a. A is your 3. So this will give you minus 2 plus minus. Here iota will produce. So this 8 means 2 under root 2 iota. 2 into 3. 2 cancel everywhere. Minus 1 plus minus under root 2 iota upon 3. Because of the iota, the roots are imaginary, means these roots are not belongs to your set of real numbers. So here you can say the value of x are not a real quantity. So here again it is not possible to define any of the maxima and minima. So there also no maxima or minima can be evaluated as your x is not belongs to R. It is compulsory for x to have a real existence. So this is the third category, and important one also. You can say that sometime justify your answer may be asked to you in short type of question. So this was all about the different type of combination in which maxima, minima can't be evaluated. Now up to now we have discussed about the evaluation of maxima and minima, means as a local maxima and local minima. Now we are going to introduce one more term in relate with your maxima and minima, is a evaluation of absolute maxima or absolute minima value for a given function. Whenever you are talking about the absolute solution along with your question or along with your function, closed interval will be available in a question in place of an open interval. So whenever any of the closed interval is being asked in the question without saying anything, sometime it may be possible that in your question it is not specified that find out absolute maxima or minima. But if it is clear that you belongs to a closed interval, so at that time without saying anything you will find out for absolute maxima or minima. So let's try to find out how the absolute maxima and minima are to be evaluated. So this is related to your question number 5, in which absolute maxima and minima values are being asked for given function and with the given interval form. When you are talking about the absolute solution, at that time second derivative we will not find. So in the beginning the process will remain same. First we will find out the first derivative, make that first derivative equal to 0, find out x solution, and then the method is changed. So here we are going to attend question number 5, second part, which is a trigonometrical base. Your function is given as fx sin x plus cos x, where x is belongs to close interval 0 to pi. So I was talking about this form when along with your question close interval is being given. So at that time you will go for evaluation of absolute maxima and minima. So what the process is, first of all, as a normal one, we will go for writing derivative for given function form. So your fx is available as sin x plus cos of x. Make it differentiate. F dash x you will have as cos of x minus sin of x. As normal method, f dash x we will put 0 for x solution, and one thing you keep in your mind, while you are writing x solution, it should lie with the given interval form 0 to pi. So here this is your cos of x minus sin of x is equal to 0. Shift this sign towards that side and convert in form of tangent. Both the side make it divided by cos. So you will have tan of x is equal to 1. Now we will think about the given range, that is 0 to pi. In this 0 to pi, 0 to 180, x value will carry angle as a pi by 4, for which it will give you the solution as a 1. So here x you can write as pi by 4, and which is belongs to given interval form. Now we move towards the evaluation of your absolute solution. So let's start with the, here 3 points we will find it out. f0, in between f pi by 4, and third one is f pi. In between these three, whatever the minimum value, that will be called as the absolute minima, and what is the maximum value, you will call it at absolute maxima. So let's proceed about evaluation of the function value. So first of all, at x is equal to 0, let's start with this range. In between you will insert this one, and at last you will come to the last range. Your f0 value means this is your sin 0 plus cos 0. Sin 0 is 0, cos 0 is 1. So your f0 will turn out as 1. So here at x is equal to 0, your f0 is 1. Second, at x is equal to pi by 4. So here f pi by 4, function value only you will evaluate every time. Sin pi by 4 plus cos pi by 4. You know both are carrying the same value, that is 1 by under root 2. On make them add, this will give you root 2. So finally, at x is equal to pi by 4, your f pi by 4 is root 2, second one. Third, at this extreme, another extreme limit, highest one, at x is equal to pi. So here, this is f pi, means sin pi plus cos pi. Sin pi we know it is 0, cos pi is minus 1, so finally it will turn to minus 1. So the last value we have evaluated at x is equal to pi is minus 1. Now you will define two terms over here as a absolute maxima and absolute minima from the evaluated point. If you look at these three values, 1, 2 and this 3. Compare these three values, you will find that minus 1 is the least one. So here it will be called as absolute minimum value at x is equal to pi. And if you look at the another one, among these two, this is having the greater value. So this under root 2 will be considered as the absolute maxima at x is equal to pi by 4. So this way absolute solutions are to be listed out. So at last we list or just highlight the maxima and minima as a absolute maxima means at point x is equal to pi by 4, f pi by 4 is root 2. This is a absolute maxima, and absolute minima at a point x is equal to pi, your f pi is minus 1. So these are the minima and maxima absolute solution you are having. So this is the process you have to follow to find out absolute maxima and absolute minima. Now here you can see, as compared to the last cases when you were evaluating local maxima and local minima, what the change you are getting here? Up to here the process is remain same. But after then, no need to find out the second derivative and checking the sign of the second derivative. As such, you will pick up the derived solution as x or theta if your question is available in the theta. Then check out the respective function's value, make comparison of the function value evaluated, and then go for the conclusion of the answer as a maxima and minima. So in order to that, one more question we are going to attend, that is the fourth part of the same question. In such type of question, presentation is very important. How you are presenting, how you are solving your question stepwise, that is an important task. Now here, one algebraic term we are going to discuss, fx as x minus 1 whole square plus 3 in interval x belongs to minus 3 to 1. Here also absolute maxima and minima we are going to evaluate. So let's go for the first derivative for given function. Your fx is available as differentiate with respect to x. So your f dash x will give you 2 x minus 1. Now make it 0. That is 2 x minus 1 is equal to 0. X minus 1 is equal to 0 will give you x as a 1, which is another extreme of this one. So here in between we are not going, or we are not finding any of the point. So direct at x is equal to minus 3 and at x is equal to 1 we will find out the function value that will give you the solution regarding absolute maxima and absolute minima. So first, at x is equal to minus 3, your f minus 3, that is minus 3 minus 1 whole square plus 3 means minus 4 whole square plus 3, 16 plus 3, 19. So at x is equal to minus 3, solution is coming out is 19. Second, at x is equal to 1, f1 means 1 minus 1 whole square plus 3. This is 0 plus 3 means finally we are getting the solution as a 3. So here if you look at these two solutions, you will find this is a minimum one, whereas this is a maximum one if you compare these two solutions. So define your answer that absolute maxima is 19 at point x is equal to minus 3 and absolute minima is 3 at point x is equal to 1. So this way you can find out these two required solution form. Now we are going to next category in which points are being asked which can be attained maxima or minima for a given range. That is question number 8. In 8th question, your function is given as sine 2x, where axis belongs to a closed interval 0 to 2 pi. Now here we have to find out the points in this interval 0 to 2 pi for which this function sine 2x attain its maximum value. Means here we have to find it out all the points for which this function attains maximum solution. So let's try to find out how it can be find it out. Now the beginning step will remain same. fx is available as sine 2x. Differentiate. This will give you 2 cos of 2x. Make this differentiation 0. This is for x evaluation. So this is 2 cos of 2x is equal to 0, means cos 2x will tends to 0. Now we have to write all the possible solution within the given range for which your cos can be tends to 0. Cos tends to 0 means multiple of pi by 2 we have to generate here as a angle form. Now first of all we just look at the given range and how to define your this 2x. So here you see x is available with the closed interval 0 to 2 pi. This is an important part of this question. Now angle we have generated is 2x. So obviously the answer you will write in form of 2x. So accordingly we have to think about the angle combination. It doesn't matter that at last we will go for x solution only, but in the beginning while you are defining this angle you have to convert the given range in a this derived angle form, then only easily you can find out the solution, otherwise problem may be rise. So here multiply everywhere by 2. This is an important part of this question. Okay, now your 2x we will define in such a way that can be expressed as a multiple of pi by 2 which give you 0 solution. And what the criteria you will use, what is the limitation, what the value of 2x you are going to select, it should be from 0 to 4 pi, means 2 cycle you can complete. So here you see this 2x you can write as, first of all it will give you 90 degree pi by 2. Second it will give you 3 pi by 2. Third, it will give you one more pi you will add here, so it will give you 5 pi by 2, and at last one more pi you add, so this will give you, at the pi difference, start with the pi by 2, you will have all the angles, nothing is to be just mugging up. So here pi by 2 means obviously at the pi by 2 you are getting 0 solution, so this all we have defined over here. Everywhere make addition by pi, so pi by 2 plus pi will give you 3 pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 plus pi will give you 5 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2 plus pi will give you 7 by 2. At last we required solution in form of x. So here these two you make divide everywhere, so angle you will get as pi by 4, 3 pi by 4, 5 pi by 4, 7 pi by 4. So these are the angle for evaluation of your terms. So let's start with the evaluation of one by one solution. Let's start with the first one. Start with this least value, means at x is equal to 0. F0 means sine 2 into 0 will give you 0 solution. Secondly, at now you start with this all values, and at last you will end at 2 pi. So here x is pi by 4. So f pi by 4 means this will give you sine pi by 2, 2 into x means 1. Next, third you will write at x is equal to 3 pi by 4, means f 3 pi by 4 will give you sine 3 pi by 2, that is minus 1. Fourth one, at x is equal to 5 pi by 4, this is 5 pi by 4 means sine 5 pi by 2. This will further give you plus 1. You can split this angle 5 pi by 4, that means how much it is? 2 pi plus pi by 2 means you are in the first quadrant, that's why it is plus 1. Now the fifth one, at x is equal to 7 pi by 4, this is a 7 pi by 4 means sine 7 pi by 2. This will give you solution as a minus 1. It will come out as a 3 pi by 2 finally. 2 pi plus 3 pi by 2. Now at last you will have this final one. Be remember, here everywhere we have written x, not the 2x. So you will talk about the x solution regarding this given closed interval. So the last is x is equal to 2 pi. So here this is the 2 pi means sine pi you will have, that will give you 0 solution. So here you can see at x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2 pi you are having 0 solution, whereas the maximum value, that means you will have 1 over here, 1 over here. So at these 2 points you are having, it's a maximum solution. So here values of x is being asked which attend maximum solution. So here the conclusion we will write of this question is at x is equal to pi by 4 and at x is equal to 5 pi by 4, your given function attain its maximum value. So let's conclude with the one statement that therefore at point x is equal to pi by 4 and 5 pi by 4, given function attains its maximum solution, that is 1. Here minimum solution also it can be asked to you. So with the remaining two combinations, that means which is refer to your -1 and -1. These are the minimum solution you can say. So at your x is equal to 3 pi by 4 and at x is equal to 7 pi by 4, you can attain its a minimum solution. So this is also one of the important form. This type of question may be asked to you. So here whenever this type of combinations you are having in form of the closed interval, find out the solution this way. So here the main part is to define the required angle form, and for that purpose it is very essential to write the required range in a derived angle form. So easily you can find out the solution form, no confusion will be rise. So in next class more question we will attend based on maxima and minima. Thank you.